I'm the DRO, the Deputy Returning Officer of the 2014 election. We would like to welcome you to our last big forum here at Myer for the SU Executive election and the Boards of Governors race. So the format of today will be that every candidate will be allowed a 2 minute of opening speech to briefly expose you their platform. Then you'll be able to ask them any questions you have, and after that, if we still have time, candidates will have the opportunity to ask their opponent's question, followed by a response for 1 minute and a rebuttal of also 1 minute. So we are going to start with Curtis, who will briefly expose us his place visit about the recreation fees increase.
Hi everybody, my name is Curtis Dell. I'm here on behalf of the UAB, the University Athletics Board, and I'm representing the Yes campaign for the Athletics and Recreation fee. Currently right now the Athletics and Recreation fee is $62.94, and the proposed increase to this fee will be an additional $16.38 per semester per student. And this money is not going towards athletics and recreation facilities here on campus. It's going to improve the fitness and lifestyle center here. It's going to improve and maintain athletics and recreation programs such as intramurals. The new PAW Center, we want to continue, we want to run that facility as efficient as possible when it opens up.
1 minute.
And we also want to continue the efficiency of current existing programs right now. Currently, we have one of the lowest athletics and recreation fee rates across Canada. Like as I said, $64.92 per semester, sorry. In comparison, University of British Columbia right now is $200 roughly per year for students. University of Toronto, $150 a semester. So theoretically, they're paying more just one semester than we are for an entire year per student. As I mentioned, this fee is going right back to you guys. Right now, with the fee stays the same, we will not be able to, our athletics and recreation will not be able to provide the same opportunities for them as we are to the students. And for this, I just want you to make sure you get out, vote, take a look on Facebook and Twitter, vote for ARF and the athletics and rec fee. Just get educated and get out and vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Thomas. Next are the Boards of Governors representatives, and we are going to start with Sangram Hanswell. You have 2 minutes. I've started.
So by now, most of you have heard my platform. But this isn't a classroom talk. This is the Myer Boards Forum. So let me take this opportunity to tell you a little bit about myself and where my passion for policy and governance comes from. The first time I ever volunteered was when I was 6 years old. My mother dragged me out of bed at 6:30 in the morning on Canada Day to go volunteer for the Fort McMurray Multicultural Society. Like any 6-year-old, I didn't want to get out of bed at 6:30 a.m. Heck, I still wouldn't want to get out of bed at 6 a.m. But that one constant in my life since then has been my passion for volunteering. When I first came to university, I wanted to pursue medicine, primarily because of my mother's illness. But because I was from Fort McMurray, I had the opportunity to go back home every summer and hold a flagpole and make $30 an hour, allowing me to focus primarily on school and my extracurriculars through the school year. My girlfriend at that time didn't have that luxury.
1 minute.
She had to work 20 to 30 hours a week during the school year. And while her marks were decent, she didn't have the extracurriculars to get into med school. I thought this was unfair. I wanted to do something about this systemic injustice that still affects thousands of students today. So I ran for this position, but I lost to a more knowledgeable and more experienced candidate at that time. But that election taught me the importance of policy and governance can have in improving students' lives, improving people's lives every day of the week. So I canceled the MCAT, and 1 year later I wrote the LSAT. Now fast forward 4 years from now, and I still believe that every student should have an equal opportunity to get ahead. That regardless of where you're from, or what your socioeconomic status is, that you have the best opportunity to be the best version of yourself. So while the BOG term is only 1 year, if we can move the university ever so slightly towards that direction, I will view my mandate as a success. My name is Sangram Hansar, and I'm running for the honor and the privilege to serve as your next Board of Governors representative. Thank you.
Thank you, Sangram. Next candidate, his opponent is Umar Farouk.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Umar Farouk, and I run for the Board of Governors representative as well. I'm going to stand for this one. I'm not going to talk to you about my personal life or any of that, because what we judge our elected officials by is what they can do for us. What I want to do is I want to focus on two things right now: tuition and accountability, because those are two things that matter the most in the last year's budget cuts. What we want to do with tuition is, because we can look at a long-term plan, but governors will do. What I want to look at is but what has been done is they've been increasing non-structural fees. These fees, such as fees for your facilities, your UPass, and other things as your hallways which are not maintained. So what I want to do is look at these fees and break them down and see which ones are being used for what they should be and which ones aren't. Because a lot of these fees of financial pathways go to places where they were not meant to be, and some of them don't go anywhere. So if these fees are not being used for what they should be, they should not be there at all. The next thing I want to look at is accountability, because just last year, international tuition was increased by 5%. For national students, this is increased for $2,500. This increase means for some people that they will not be able to get education in Canada. And this is not fair when domestic students like us have to pay $6,000 and are able to get our degrees. So what I want to do is hold the Board of Governors accountable by creating a National Student Association, by creating associations and a judiciary board that's independent from the Board of Governors that can look at these issues and say whether...
All right, that was Umar Farouk. Thank you for this nice speech. Now we are going to pass with the VP Student Life, and first is Patrick Kahina.
Perfect. So hello everyone. My name is Patrick Kahina. Before this year, I didn't really care too much for elections. Being from Campus Saint-Jean, I came back from Reading Week, and then I saw a bunch of posters in my campus. I saw a bunch of random people coming to my campus, talking to me, talking about votes, issues, stuff I really didn't know about, stuff I quite honestly didn't care about. And this year, finally getting involved with the elections, thanks to William Lau, actually. He pushed me to start thinking about how I could leave my mark on the university and how I could leave it for the better. And being in my third year, I really missed out on a lot of opportunities that are offered at North Campus that aren't offered at Campus Saint-Jean or Augustana Campus, or for all those people that aren't involved in student politics or student governance. And something that I want to change, and starting with this election, is getting the promotion out there, getting people to find out what's going on their campus, getting people to finally feel as if they're part of the U of A, that they're not just simply part of the arts faculty or the science faculty or Campus Saint-Jean, because those are great faculties and they allow us to create our initial social networks, but without being truly connected to the U of A, we're missing out on a lot of extracurricular activities. We're missing out on a lot of programmings that we honestly need in order to grow professionally, grow academically, and grow socially. So with my campaign, I really want to create a community where we all can feel part of it. We're all welcomed as soon as we step through these doors, well, any of these doors really, and that this next year's week of welcome will be the best week of welcome for international students, domestic students, and students from all over the world, from Edmonton and elsewhere. My name is Patrick Kahina, and I will be your next Vice President of Student Life.
He has decided for you, but the next candidate is Virginia Shoshi.
All right, so I'm a Pink Floyd fan, and thank you. I don't know if I said thank you, but there's a very good Pink Floyd song called Us and Them, and the words go, us and them, and in the end, we're all just ordinary men. That's what we all are. We're all part of one student body, no matter what campus we're from, even if you're studying abroad in Cortona. So that's what the VP Student Life position is to me, is about representing all the students. Also, I was told to smile more, because all the forums lead to this one, so I'm smiling. Also, my platform is a trifecta of advocacy, student wellness, and student union outreach. Everyone says that 25% of the entire population votes. What are we doing? What are we doing to make more people vote? What are we doing to make more people aware? That's what I want to work on. Get more people from the students' union out there to the students, not just during the 2 weeks before elections, but throughout the entire year. Advocacy, I'm an international student. I have faced the international student tuition increase. I have paid cost fees. There has to be someone who's going to fight for that. There has to be someone who can take the fight to the university when it's needed. And I believe I'm the right person for that. Go check out my platform on Facebook at facebook.com/figureitout. That's FIGRITOUT. Thank you. My name is PJ, and I'm running for Vice President of Students Life.
Next candidate and only woman involved is Instant Pick.
Hi, I'm Instant Pick. For the past few weeks, all of the people have been asking me, why do you want to be Vice President of Life? So I would like to take this time to tell you why I want to be your future Vice President of Life. I came here as an international student 3 years ago, and I expected my university life to be somewhat similar with the one I've seen in Hollywood movies. However, it was very different. I often felt isolated and felt disconnected by the university community. And later I realized it was not only me who went through those experiences. Whether you're international students, domestic students, or in different level of education, everybody might have been felt the same way and went through the same feelings. I want to change this. And I want to make sure that your university life is better. And this is why I decided to run for Vice President of Life, and this is why I chose these 3 platform points. First, I want to make sure that all of your voices are equally heard and equally represented by student union, because I believe that is what union is meant to be. Second, I would like to improve and promote current existing health and wellness services on campus. So whenever you need help, whether it's physical health, mental health, or other issues, you know where to go to seek for your help. Lastly, I would like to promote diversity on campus. Not only promoting current existing student union events, I would like to create inter-faculty and inter-campuses events so more students can feel easily connected with university community. If you want to know more about me and how I'm going to achieve this, please visit voteInSomething.com. Thank you so much.
Next candidate is Nicolas Kiax.
for coming out today. My name is Nicholas Diaz, and I'm running to be your next Vice President of Student Life. Before I tell you about my platform and what I want to do, I'd like to tell you a bit more about myself. 3 years ago, I came here as a transfer student. I missed Week of Welcome, I missed Clubs Fair, but luckily a friend of mine got me involved with some student groups. After a month with that student group, I was their party planner, but I've come far from them. Just last year, we founded U of A Pride Week, and this week I've had the pleasure of getting out to Campus St. Jean, to Augustana, and it's been so heartwarming to see that that's taken off in a big way this year at our satellite campuses. Now, for the platform, I've been researching this for 3 or 4 months now. The position concerns non-academic advocacy, your health services, and events management. For non-academic advocacy, I sit on your health and dental plan. For your health services, I've worked with all the services managers and the general managers to develop new services this year.
1 minute.
For events management, I'm actually a house manager with this theater. So, thanks everyone. I look forward to answering all of your questions today, and I hope you enjoy the forum. Thanks.
He takes seriously his role as a party planner. Next candidate is Fabian Gonzalez.
Say when? When? I don't know, I hear someone say go. Okay. Hello guys, my name is Fabian Gonzalez, and I'm running to be your next Vice President of Student Life. Why am I doing this? I'm doing this because at the start of the year, I put the ashes of my cat who died last year in space. I am doing this because I have sang in the wind sphere with very, very talented people. I am doing this because I use the Boulder Dome. I train there 2 times a week, and I train in South Campus gymnastics. I am doing this because I have had the fortune and the honor of participating with the University of Alberta Ski Club, with a lot of the societies here, to meet and interact with the people involved with the Greek community, to meet and interact with a lot of you throughout University of Alberta Confessions, University of Alberta Compliments, University of Alberta Overheard. I have been a part of student life since before I knew it was cool. So what's this position about? This position is about Safe Walk. This position is about the emergency fund. This position is about the campus food bank. This position is about giving you the information of all the awesome things, all the incredible things that the groups on campus do. All the things that you need to know to find your place in life. Because your place in life does not start and does not end when your classes are done. Your place in life is everything, is this. And I want to make it possible for you to find the people that are looking for the same things. No matter what your answer is in life, whether you like archery, whether you like dancing, whether you like swimming, whether you like anything. My job as Vice President of Student Life is to enable you to find your place in life, to help you, to give you a hand. And I was doing it before it was cool. My name is Fabian Gonzalez, and it will be an honor to be your next Vice President of Student Life. Thank you very much.
Funny guy. That was the candidate for the post of Vice President Student Life, and now we are going to pass with the presidents and to begin with the dog team.
Hello? Oh, so loud, such microphone. Hi, fellow students. I am Fluffy of Dog Team. English hard. First language is Barkish. Let me pause and get my wits about me. Dogs for president, because we are much loyal, so experienced. Very leader, such friend. Wow. We love humans, but you are many flaws. Not furry, not use tongue, or knows enough when communicate. instead of bark them out in open. Student union in rough state with university. Many students confuse what SU do's. Food, tennis ball, tummy rubs, wow. Dogs will spend such time meeting amazed student body. Very walk around campus, spreading SU message. Such advocate. Dogs love meat. When meet with admin, board of gov, or politician, dogs win hearts through puppy love. Time for dogs to pull the leash. Such mush, wow. Such history. UASU, many fame for dog president. Be a part of the revolution. Vote Dog Team March 5 and 6.
Next candidate competing with this is Adam Woods.
Awesome. That's kind of a hard act to follow, but I'm gonna try to do it. I'm not gonna talk to you folks today about my platform. I'm gonna talk to you about why I'm running for this position and why I think I'm your best choice for your Students' Union president. My name is Adam Woods, and 1 year ago, just about 2 days before I was elected, the provincial budget cut was dropped. And we on campus found out that we were getting a 7% cut instead of a promised 2% increase. That is why I'm running. I am running because we need to defend this institution and our educational quality. This is a problem that affects us all. This is a problem that affects everybody in this room. I don't think there's ever a set definition or set forum for deciding who is going to be the best president or who's going to make the best Students' Union president. I personally think there's years where we'd all make a good president. The reason that this year I feel I'm the best choice to be your president is because I have that experience. I have been working with the government for the last year. I have been advocating your interests. I have been talking about the issues that affect us. Now, I can't always promise that we'll get results, and this year has proved that. It's been a tough balance. I've had a lot of people telling me we need to be more aggressive towards the government. I've had a lot of people telling me we need to build more relations with the government. And the truth is, it's somewhere in the middle. It's a balance. The reason I'm running for this position is because 1 year ago, my life and our life radically changed on this campus, and we need to have somebody to stand up. We need somebody who isn't afraid to tell the administration how it is. We need somebody who isn't afraid to tell the government how it is. We need somebody that has a passion for this campus. And I promise you, I'm not running because of the fancy office or because of the perks. I'm running because I'm not done yet. I'm running because I know that this campus and this province is threatened and that education should be our #1 priority this year. And if you agree with me that advocating for sustainable funding to post-secondary and ensuring the administration don't cut our quality education as they have been, and making sure we don't see bigger classroom sizes and less course availability, I'd encourage that you vote for me. If you want to see my full platform, please go to adamwoods.ca. I encourage you to ask questions, and thank you all so much for showing up today. Thank you.
Candidate is the ex-Vice President Student Life, William Law.
So I won't be walking around too much right now. But last week, I had the opportunity to chat with a lot of students throughout my campaign trail. And there were 2 students that really stuck out. One student really wanted to get involved but didn't know with what, and the other student was just too shy to get involved altogether. So I sat down, I listened, and I learned what they studied, where their interests lie, and together we were able to find opportunities that suited them. So the SU has a message that we haven't been able to properly deliver. Students want to get involved, we want to better our community, we want to meet new people, and the Students' Union has a responsibility to do that. What I've heard from students over and over again is it doesn't matter how much we do. If we don't engage the student body, we're never going to have a strong union. So voted president, what I will do is I will direct our senior managers to work collaboratively to deliver a coherent message to the student body. I'll implement and evaluate the communication strategy that I've already worked on all year, so we could better do that and prioritize student voice. I'll create a hub for student involvement in our lower level with the renovations, and I'll continue to work on student group policies as well. Those two students stuck out to me, because that's where I was 2 years ago. I get it. I get that we have competing priorities. I get that some of us are shy. And I get that it's tough to take that first step. But we, as your student union, needs to do our due diligence in making those opportunities available. Throughout my term as your Vice President of Student Life, I've really enjoyed having the resources and the opportunities to be able to share with you to maximize your potential. And it'd be an honor if I could continue serving you as your president. Thank you.
Thank you, William. Next candidate is Bashir Mohammed.
Hello, my name is Bashir Mohammed. I'm running for president. Throughout the past week, I've been talking to a few students, and unfortunately, there's been a lot of contention around one of my platform points, and that's childcare. People come up to me and say, you know, Bashir, that's a good idea, but it's not a student issue. I don't see students with children in classrooms. And I reply by saying, we don't see student debt physically in classrooms. We don't see mental health issues in classrooms, but we still recognize those are issues. I looked into it, and the wait time for on-campus childcare is between 1.5 to 2 years. I could turn Hudson's into a daycare, it'd be a bad idea. I could turn it into a daycare, it'd be full within a day, and have a 2-year-long waiting period. So what am I going to do about it? It's a random guy. I'll do 2 things. The first thing is get a snapshot of the need for childcare at the U of A. The last one was done 12 years ago. We don't know the issue in depth, and we need to know. The second thing, the more immediate thing, is temporary childcare. So during final exams, students can drop off their children, write an exam, and pick up their child. I believe this is a student issue, and I believe it's something we have to do, because if not us, then who? And if not now, then when? Very quickly, 2 of my other platform points, international students, their tuition's unregulated, it should be regulated. And finally, advocacy. When the budget comes out on Friday, people are going to be pissed off, but there's no mechanism in place to give them the resources they need to properly advocate. If they want to protest, we should give them the picket signs. If they want to make a video, we should give them the camera. If they want to put up posters, we should give them the paper. So I recognize these are big challenges, so I'm not going to stand here today and promise you the world. I'm not going to stand here today and pander to you guys. I'm not even going to tell you to vote for me, but I will tell you on election days, the 5th and 6th, is to make an informed decision and to look at the ideas. I will promise you that if elected, I'll try. My name is Bashir Mohammed, and I'm ready to be your student union president.
That was the president. We're gonna pass now with the VP external position, and first to come is Navneet Hinda.
We have the good fortune to live in a rich and exciting province, the privilege to attend a good public university in a country that values public education. Yet many people are excluded from the opportunities you and I have. Not only is this unfair, it means we're not maximizing the potential of our citizenry. Let's look at the facts. Tuition has increased by 30% since the 1990s. The cost of living and textbooks continues to rise above inflation, and 70% of new jobs require some sort of post-secondary education. What used to be our silver bullet, university education, is now a reflection of socioeconomic divides for far too many of us. But we don't have to settle for this. I know that more people can benefit from and access post-secondary through smart policy. I know that we have higher standards, and I know that we can meet these higher aspirations. So let's do this. Let's increase access to post-secondary. Let's make sure we have an improved financial aid system so we target aid to students who need it the most. Let's make sure that we have adequate employment opportunities so that we can, target not only unemployment, but also underemployment. Let's make sure that we close loopholes. We need to regulate not only international fees, but also mandatory non-instructional fees. Students need predictability so that we can prepare financially for our education. Furthermore, let's make it easier for students to vote and participate in democracy. I will ensure that not only will I use grassroots lobbying, but also traditional means of lobbying as well. Education is a key to social mobility. My parents came to this country in the hopes that their children's futures would be brighter. And that's why many of us attend university, because we believe in its value. I know that there's a way to go, but through the conversations I've had last week, I know that students care, and I know that we can work together to actually have a positive impact. You see, it's not really about me. It's not about the Students' Union. It's about our money, our education, and our community. On March 5th, let's make it count.
Next candidate is Tomadan.
All right, cool, thanks. So I'm here talking about why I'm running for VPX. I'm here to tell you, I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of facts. I'm not going to rattle off a bunch of things I plan to do. Because you know why? Because I agree with 95% of what every other single candidate running for this position is saying. We all have the same ideas. We're all students on the stage. We're all getting gouged from the same things. And we all believe that students should have more rights. But I'm here to tell you not the what, not the why, but the how. I'm here to tell you that, okay, 5, 10, 15 years we've been advocating. We've been sitting down and talking with ministers. We've been sitting down and going, hey, these are the issues, will you listen to us? Hey, these are the issues, will you listen to us? Will you listen to us? And no, they haven't. I've sat down and talked to staffers from opposition parties. I've talked to MLAs from opposition parties. I've talked to them and we've decided that in order to get anything actually done, if we need to get a bus out to go protest in front of the ledge with students, we need to do that. If we need to get a bus out to go occupy Minister Hancock's office, we need to do that. If we need to work with provincial parties to say, hey, can we help out with your campaigns? Can we work with your people? Can we vote for you to say, will you put political pressure on the government? Will you work to actually make student issues a hot topic for 2016? Will you work to make student issues a hot topic in 2015? If we do these things together, we are 30,000 students. We're people who have a voice. Of course, individually, none of us can really make that change. But collectively, that's something we can actually do. If I was to be elected VPX, we'd be looking at a situation where, yes, we all know the issues. We're going to be looking at a situation where there's actually going to be tangible action in place to change it. We're looking at a situation where we're tangibly looking at ways to actually affect our lives. Not just talking about the problems over and over again. Not just saying, hey, these are the problems. Do you know about them? Hey, these are the problems. Do you know about them? So once again, my name is Thomas Dang. I'm running for VPX. I'm on Facebook, facebook.com/ThomasDangAB, and I hope you vote for me on March 5th and 6th. Thanks.
Make sure he'll be in the same bus as you. Next candidate is Dylan Halwell.
So I want to start off by saying that as a candidate, I don't have the most Twitter followers. I don't get the most Facebook likes when I post a new profile picture. And I don't usually get the most retweets when I tweet an article. That said, for this job, I want it so bad it hurts. I've worked so hard this last week, and I hope it's shown. Over this last week, I think campaigning comes down to two things. The first being your ideas and your platform. It's incredibly important. But the second, as voters, you should be looking at work ethic. Candidates should be working every second of their day to get your votes. Because that work ethic is going to transfer into what they do as a job. I think that when I think about the things that I've done over this last week and the way that I've worked over this last week to get those votes, that I've put every ounce of effort that I could muster into this campaign. And I think that at the end of the day, that's what really matters. That sure, your ideas are great and your ideas do matter when you come into the position, but it's that work ethic that you have during the campaign that shines through. That's work ethic is the one that you're going to carry through for the rest of your year as an executive, and that's what's going to make you successful. I hope that by the end of this campaign, I've shown you that I've worked as hard and put as much effort that I possibly could have put into this, and I think that's all I can do. Like I said, I hope that shines through, and on March 5th and 6th, starting from square one, I've earned your vote over these last 2 weeks. Thank you.
first the VP External, and next the candidates who wants to be our VP Academic, and first is Rebecca Plott.
Hi everyone, my name is Rebecca Plotz and I'm running on 3 main points. So the big one that I think really affects everyone is a lot of programs this year were cut to minor only. So I really want to work on preventing any more programs being cut to minor only and working to protect our other programs and faculties from having that happen to them. The second point I'm running on is investing in international students through the bridging program that is currently in place here at the University of Alberta. I want to make sure that it's available for all international students over all semesters for all faculties, and also investing in the International Students Association that will hopefully come to fruition this year. And my third point is investing more in student groups. I believe that student groups are extremely important for getting views on the university and how our student union is running, and from anything and everything. I think it's really important feedback, and I think it's a really integral part of student involvement, and that's why I think it's important. So on March 5th and 6th, please vote Rebecca Plotz for your VP Academic. Thank you.
Thank you, Rebecca. Next candidate is Nisha Patel.
This university should inspire you. When I came to the U of A, I hope that I can leave a different person. That's the dream that every one of you should have, and I don't think we've done enough for this. Your VP Academics role is to start at the classroom, to talk to professors, to talk to faculty, to talk to staff, to make this dream a reality. You don't have to have the biggest dream in the world. You don't have to want to be Prime Minister to want to be inspired, and I think that we're not doing enough. 2 reasons that we can help, 2 ways that we can help university students. The first one is focusing on mental health and mental wellness in the classroom. It is not enough for me to have to go to my professor and explain what mental illness I'm suffering from. That is a very humiliating experience, and we don't have enough resources on this campus to deal with the problems that are going to happen inevitably. We've accepted the notion that you should struggle when you come to university, that it should always be hard, and yet we don't give students the resources to be able to deal with the challenges we put up to them. We want them to have these tools to go out there and succeed, whatever their metric of success is. Let's get faculties to take workshops on how to deal with mental health so that they actually know what they're doing. Let's encourage FAs to have student associations that actually encourage peer support. The second thing we can do, mentorship is incredibly important at this university. When you graduate, you're going to get a letter in the mail asking for money as soon as you're out of here, I guarantee it. We don't have money to give as new grads. We have time to give. We want to make student life better. I want to come back and be able to mentor young students. We should all have that opportunity. We should be doing more. When you leave this university, you should leave with more than just a piece of paper. You should leave with a sense of well-being, a sense of possibility. And as your VP Academic, I hope that I've inspired you today. Thank you.
I think you did. Next candidate is Catherine Horowitz.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us today, and thank you to those who are live streaming right now. I would like to tell you a bit about myself as well today. In my first year, I was a member of the Arts Executive Faculty Committee, which is a committee that the Dean of Arts actually sits on. So I have some committee experience there. In my second year, I ran to be the events coordinator for the Collective Body for Arts Students. That's the Faculty Association for the Faculty of Arts. In my third year, I was both an arts counselor as well as I sat on the academic relations group and worked closely with Dustin Chellin in doing so, who's the current vice president academic. In my fourth year now, I again work closely with the current vice president academic on projects as the student governance officer, although one of the most important things that I've come to do as the student governance officer is work closely with student representatives, such as those on faculty associations and council. So when I tell you that I'd like to implement mandatory rubrics, and when I tell you that I'd like to create a textbook library, and when I tell you that I'd like to recognize departmental associations as student representative associations so that they have the adequate resources that they need to advocate at department level, which is where some of the most impactful decisions are made. I have the skills to do that. I know the process to do that, and I can do that. Something important that I've noticed as I've been walking around and talking to students and getting their perspective on the election is that many students do not know what exactly the vice president academic is responsible for. I believe that the vice president academic is responsible for ensuring that the quality of your education is prime. And I believe that the vice president academic is responsible for ensuring that you are represented to students or to the departments and faculties adequately. So, on March 5th and 6th, vote Catherine Ordzik for vice president academic. Thank you for coming out today.
Thank you, Catherine. Next candidate is Fahim Rahman.
Hello everyone, my name is Fahim Rahman and I'm running to be the Vice President Academic of your Students' Union. Last week you may have heard the theme, Believe in Fahim, and today I'm going to give you 3 reasons why. Knowledge, ideas, and experience. I'll start off with the first point, with knowledge. I spent this entire year as the Interdepartmental Science Student Society's VP Academic researching the priorities of 6,400 undergraduates and taking time to implement those research priorities into action. That's something that not a lot of candidates can attest to. In addition to that, I spent the past 2 years working very closely with the SU VP Academic, acting as a delegate for him on committees such as ITAC and FOTC, which deal with information technology and teaching quality in particular. I believe that these experiences give me a far wider knowledge base to execute the ideas to make the institution into a greater one, which brings me to my second point on ideas. I want to make sure that students don't have to pay $1,000 for textbooks annually. I want to make sure that faculty associations can engage their members, regardless of number. I want to make sure that students don't have to worry about mental health issues as it relates to their success in the classroom. Which brings me to my third point, experience. I would work very closely with academic and faculty administrators, from deans to vice provosts, which puts me a cut above the rest of the candidates. Because of my extensive student representative experience, such as working with the SU for clear grading policies and working with the ICE to prevent the implementation of lab fees in the Faculty of Science, I'm a prime candidate to be your VP Academic to defend your voice in the midst of budget cuts and course cancellations while executing my own ideas. So there you have it, knowledge, ideas, and experience. Believe is a strong word, ladies and gentlemen, yet I believe that because of my extensive experience, brilliant ideas, and wide breadth of knowledge, on March 5th and 6th, that's this Wednesday and Thursday, I'm ready to ask you to believe in Fahim and vote Rahman to be VP Academic of your Students' Union.
Thank you, Fahim Rahman. Last candidate running for the same position is Stephanie Groke.
I want to talk today about why the VP Academic position is so important to me. I feel that everyone in this room believes that getting an education can greatly improve your quality of life. However, not everybody has the ability to get it. I have a friend who is probably the most hardworking, dedicated, and smartest person I have ever met, and if anyone deserved a degree from the U of A, it was her. However, she had no support. She worked every day to make rent, tuition, textbook costs, and living expenses, and eventually, it all became too much, and she withdrew from her program. Now, a year later, she's still working full-time to save up and hopefully come back and finish. I have another friend who was a little bit luckier. His parents had agreed to pay for half of his tuition. However, a family tragedy struck in his second year, the financial support ended, and he was left trying to make up the rest of his degree. Initially, he took on a second job, then a third job, then he dropped down to part-time status, and now, a year later, 4 years later, he is still not graduated. Everybody faces barriers when they come to university, financial, academic, personal, and as VPA, it'll be my job to work with the administration to start bringing down these barriers so that when you come to school, all you worry about is getting good grades, having some friends, and being happy. I want to make sure that every single hard-earned cent you put into your tuition, you get back in a quality experience. I want to make sure that you're no longer stressing about your textbook costs, that faculty associations have the support to offer specialized services and advocacy to every student, and I want to make sure that there's an advisory system set in place so that you know your requirements, so that you're not coming back for an extra semester or an extra
15
year.
seconds.
Like my friends, everybody has a story. Maybe yours is the same, maybe yours is a little worse. But if you elect me as your VPA, I will work to make your story just a little bit better. On March 5th and 6th, vote Stephanie for VP Academic, and thank you all for coming out.
Thank you, Stephanie. We have now heard all of our wonderful candidates, so no? Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm always forgetting Corey Hudson, VP Operations.
Well, last but not least. So hey everybody, my name is Corey Hodgson. I'm running for VP Operations and Finance, and I'm a completionist in video games. So what does that mean? When I play a video game, I can't leave anything undone. I have to finish every side quest, collect every item, explore the whole map, that kind of thing. So what does that mean for you, or for me as your VP OpsY? Well, it's kind of the same thing, actually. The SU has a bunch of long-term projects that are wrapping up. Fall Reading Week, PAW Centers, sub-renos are all coming to a close. Now we have the opportunity to embark on a whole new set of quests. It's kind of like in Zelda, when you become an adult, there's all these new places to go, but Ganondorf rules the world, everything's terrible, there's zombies everywhere, and there's Redeads or whatever they're called. As your VP Operations and Finance, I want to make sure you have a bunch of new places to go that don't suck. I'm excited to start thinking bigger about how the SU runs its businesses. That's the new set of quests. I want to conduct a feasibility study on expanding some of our businesses. Look Express, for example. I want to think about the service aspect of our businesses. Should we charge market rate for student groups to rent SU spaces, or should we discount that rate, thereby providing a service to students on campus? I also want to make it easier for FAs to review their finances. The SU can do that by providing resources for a financial review. That's pretty dry, and you probably didn't come to this forum expecting me to drone on about faculty-associated financial reporting, so I'll leave it at that. One other thing I want to mention is I'm trying to only use half my budget in my campaign, as I am unopposed. I don't think it's prudent to just kind of waste student dollars on a NOTA campaign, or against the NOTA campaign. So like I said before, my name is Corey Hodgson, and I'm running for VP OpsY. You can check out my full platform at votecorey.ca, and remember two things.
15 seconds.
To vote on March 5th and 6th, and that the princess is always in another castle.
Thank you, Corey Hudson. And now, if my memory is good, I think we have listened to all of them. So we want to hear now your voices, and I hope you guys have those explosive questions that they can answer at all. So we'll be taking questions from the audience, if there are any. Yeah. Yes, we have a question here in the back. Can you guys come here on the stage and ask your question? Or you can just go here. There is a mic right here.
Okay. Yeah. So all of the present candidates talked about regulating international fees. I have a question for all the present candidates. How would you go about regulating or helping regulate international fees? And a specific question for Adam Woods. How would your lobbying efforts be different from your role as Vice President, VP External, compared to if you get elected as a president?
Presidents, you have 1 minute to answer this question.
So I looked into this, and international student tuition is unregulated in the PSLA. So we have to go to the province and get them to regulate it, that section, the PSLA, Section 2AV. But we also have to go to the Board of Governors and present them the history of the differential fee, because right now they see it as just another fee for the sake of existing. So first step, province, second step, Board of Governors. Thank you for the question.
To be honest, the hows here won't differ much between the candidates. But what I can provide to you that will set me apart from the other candidates is the amount of experience I've had working with international students throughout the year. And with that experience and the community that we have built, I believe it provided me a really strong base to take their voice and include them in the conversation. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. To address the first part, he asked the difference between advocating as president and as external. The job of the president is to provide support where support is needed to individual VPs, which is why in my speech I talked about advocacy, because if there's an area where we need additional support next year, it's around looking for government investment. And I'd also state that I will provide a bit of a different answer. I think that our best way to deal with international tuition is to continue advocating on the government on principles that we haven't exactly brought up to them. Very logical things that I believe that they would actually do if we asked them and continue to work with them. One of them is regulating international student tuition at inflation. This is the same regulation we as domestic students get. So if inflation is 2%, your tuition shouldn't increase by more than 2%. The second is lobbying for a grandfather clause, which would essentially say that if an international student's tuition is jacked up, it's going to affect the students that still haven't come here yet, not those that are still currently here, because it's BS that they can get a $1,000 tuition increase halfway through their degree. Some folks have to go home as a result. So I would just state logical, concise things for the government to consider that they might actually do. Thank you.
International students? Them is humans. What about pets? We talk about how inclusive organization U of A is. But members of society are shut out due to speciesism. Such sad, so speciesism. Speciesism is issue on campus. Let's be progressive and have unconditional love and elect first non-human president.
30 seconds. Next question.
Hi, I have a question for the President Reyes. So my question would be personally, what is the most important thing, what is the least important thing to you about being the president for the student union? Thank you.
The least important
Personally, what is the most important thing, what's the least important thing about being the president for the student union?
Hope you got it. Yeah. We're gonna start.
So I think the most important thing you need is ideas. The only requirement, the only prerequisite for running for president is having the right ideas, the right passion. It should be having a good heart. I think the thing that least matters to me is experience. We all have experience. We all agree on the same principles. It just depends on our ideas. So the first thing, ideas. Second thing, thing I like, ideas. Thing I least like,
I only asked for one
experience.
thing.
Okay, thank you.
And what's the least important thing to you?
What?
The least important thing to you about being the president?
Sass. But anyways.
Hey, just ask question, then answer. No clash. Okay, William now.
I think as president of a students' union, the most important thing is definitely the students. Ideas come and go, and students have different ideas, and it's most important to put that focus back on them. As for the least important thing, if I was voted in as as president of your students' union, sorry, I'd have to see that's myself, and perhaps my personal life, and my commitments outside the students' union. Thank you.
Thank you for the planted question. I'm going to start off by saying the most important thing is making sure that as president, you're doing a good job of supporting your VPs and supporting those that you work around. Now, one of the candidates touched on ensuring that student voice is included, and I agree with that, but that's the VP's job. That's the VPs of individual portfolios whose job is to go out and know what's going on in that area. As president, you have to be A, willing to be reasonable with them and tell them what is possible, and B, you need to be able to encourage them and be able to ensure them that what they want to achieve is possible. And another big thing is at times you got to be a punching bag. I hate to say it, but it's your first year on exec. It's a scary thing. And this year there were all kinds of things that went wrong that Petros so valiantly jumped on the grenade for, because he knew that would keep our exec together and happy and in a good spirit. So it's really making sure that those who we work with and are supposed to support are feeling as supported as possible. As for the least important thing, there isn't a least important thing. As president, you better be taking it damn seriously. Thank you.
Thank you for your sass.
Most important thing is humans. We, dogs, love you, humans. Mental health, such important. We need to be positive. Puppy therapy for all. Such cuddle, so health. Least important, fingers. What we look like on outside, not important. I am's Purina of heart, will not kibble about, love humans.
I feel like I'm now mentally disabled. Next question.
A portion of the VPSL portfolio is to work with and manage SU services. As a volunteer and staff for multiple services, I want to ask each of the VPSL candidates what they know about the services and how they would plan to support them if elected.
Fabian Gonzalez would like to answer first. You have 1 minute. Oh. Now.
Thank you for making that question. I've actually used pretty much every single service that the university has to offer. I applied for an emergency loan. I applied to the emergency fund. I use the campus food bank now and then, and I don't think there's any shame in saying that. I use the emergency, the mental health services where I have brought a lot of people that needed support. I have never used SafeWalk because, well, I am kind of a scary Mexican, but I would use SafeWalk. Was I any different? So I would say that I have had experience with many of the student union services. I have volunteered for Week of Welcome. I have volunteered for peer support. I have volunteered for the distress line.
10 seconds.
And I really believe in this, and I really believe in giving a hand, which is what these services do. And I support them with all my heart. Thank you very much.
Gonzalez. Next is Parjanya Joshi.
All right, so I'm currently a resident assistant in Lister Center. This is my second year as a resident assistant. And as an RA, I have taken residents and I've directed them to the services when they need them. I've directed residents to the mental health center, to the sexual assault center, and to the peer support center. So I really know and value the importance of these services in the SU. Apart from that, what I really feel is the services have a lot of load with the number of students on campus. There needs to be some other alternative or a way to help the services alleviate that load, and so that because it is really difficult for one service like, say, the mental health center to actually tackle the mental health wellness issues of everyone on campus, or as many as may be concerned. So my actual goal is to just support them by providing more student group services is one of my main issues. Thank you.
Thank you, Parjanya Joshi. Party planner Nicolas Jazz.
This mic is getting a lot of wear and tear in and out of the stand. So thank you for the question. My background on this campus has given me the opportunity to work very closely with student group services on both their executive consult committee and their granting committee. I also had the opportunity to sit in the gender-based violence prevention project. My partner works with SafeWalk. Next year is going to be a very important year for our services. SafeWalk has just implemented a new alcohol policy wherein they can walk people who have consumed alcohol. They're going to need help reviewing and assessing the effect of that policy. Student group services is woefully understaffed. There are 3 staff members in student group services, and they have to service 450 student groups with a minimum of 10 members per student group. That's a lot of people to work with. So I have points on my platform for improving that communications burden to alleviate that for them. Our student groups also experience a lot of trouble with Bears Den. At a meeting recently with William Lau and the administration, we talked about Bears Den, and I proposed that we get a design audit so we can get that fixed so our student groups have less.
Thank you, Nicolas Jazz. Next candidate is Patrick Kahina.
All right, so yeah, great question. So a lot of the things that my other opponents have said,
awesome ideas, and I hope that the VPSL candidate that wins takes those into account and implements them regardless, because it'd be stupid not to use a good idea just because somebody else had it. But I think the way I'd support these services is, first of all, by communicating them better to students, because I find that unless you're living in residence, part of a Greek community, or really involved with campus activities, that's when you find out about the services. For the people that live off campus, for the people that commute, for the people that go to Augustana and Campus Saint-Jean, they don't know that these services exist. They don't know how or where to get help, and if they do, it's usually inaccessible. So I'd like to expand those services to those satellite campuses and also to promote their visibility. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question. As also being an RA like PJ, I also guided many residents to those services, also have used some of the services. However, I feel I was lucky enough to know that those services are available. And there are plenty of students out there who does not know what university can offer for them. So the first step I would like to take is promoting them better, so more students are aware of what university can do for them. So I would like to do this by having tables during club fair, so new students and all the current students can know what is available for them. Also during midterm season or final season, I know that lots of students go through under stress, so they can access with those resources better, and university can help them even more better. Thank you.
You are going to take this question now. You can go ahead.
This question is for the Vice President external candidates. As a university student that pays his own tuition, meaningful summer employment that allows me to save money is extremely important. How do you plan to increase the amount of meaningful summer jobs that allow students to fund their education beyond a meager $1,000 honorarium?
Thank you for this wonderful question. And I think Navneet Hinda would like to come first.
Thanks for that question. So there's a few things that we can do. Personally, I'm not a big fan of the internship model, and I know we've agreed on that. So that means talking to the government and figuring out how we can put in place a new program, such as STEP, which provides students with jobs, paying jobs. Another thing that's part of my platform is talking to the federal government to exempt your in-study income on your student loans. And that's not directly tied to employment, but it really is, because a lot of students who work, they're not able to get the maximum amount of loans possible because of the income that they make. So that's kind of a disincentive to work. So there's two approaches that we can take. The first is provincially advocate for a strengthened program to let students have summer jobs, and the other is to make sure that the money we're making actually benefits us. Thanks.
Cool, thanks for the question. So that's a very interesting position because I've done a lot of extensive research specifically on the STEP program when it was canceled. I actually did lobby for the re-implementation of it, and I actually looked over a lot of the specific issues that the Tory government had with it. They had issues with how it wasn't tangible for extending long-term transitions, or how it didn't create long-term employment opportunities. So we would be able to lobby for a lot more of the re-implementation of STEP primarily, and then using that, we accommodate what the government was asking and saying, hey, we do need some sort of transition program, and how can people make sure that this is actually creating a situation where they're going to be able to take these skills that they've acquired in STEP and put them into their full-time jobs. So looking at things like that and re-implementing and then expanding the STEP program rather than trying to take another program that isn't fundamentally designed for this is really where I'd like to go with summer employment and summer temporary employment.
Thank you, Donata. Next is Dylan Hanwell.
Okay, great. So thank you for the question, and I want to preface this by saying I'm a rural student. I come from a single-parent family and a low-income family at that, so I understand what you mean when you say you have to pay your own tuition. I do the exact same thing. And when I talk about expanding the student community's internship program, I think student work programs or student employment programs have two main facets to them. The first is that they give you meaningful experience, and the second is that they pay you enough money. So when I look at SKIP, I see the first of that, and I see that all these internships that they're giving you are meaningful experiences. They're putting you with nonprofits across Alberta. They're giving you at-home experiences as well as in-office experiences, but they don't pay enough, and I agree with that. But at the same time, that's why it's one of my platform points. I think that the framework that we have right now, by being expanded to give students more money, fulfills both of those prerequisites for a meaningful student employment program.
Thank you,
and that.
Sorry. Next question.
Right, so thank you all. My question is for Vice President Operations and Finance, Corey Hudson. So, well, thank you. You had great ideas, I guess. I went through your platform, and they're all great ideas. I just want to know what would be the most, I guess, important goal for you this year as your role of Vice President, if there's any, of course. Thanks.
Oh, is that on? Okay. Thanks so much for the question. That's the first one I've actually had, so I really appreciate it. My most important goal will be setting up the SU to think long-term about its businesses. We have the opportunity, our 5-year strategic plan is under review this year, so I'd absolutely love to have something about long-term growth in our businesses and our SU strategic plan. That's because the SU is a nonprofit. Whenever you spend money at an SU business, it goes back into serving students. I think it's such a more intelligent model to fund our organization rather than levy increasing fees on you to run extremely successful businesses that fund our service endeavors. So that's my #1 goal for the year in office, is to set up the SU for long-term growth in our businesses. I have a lot of ideas. Come talk to me if you want to hear some of them. Some of them are pretty crazy. Some are maybe more tangible. But yeah, thanks so much for the question. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you, Corey. We're going to take the next question.
Okay, so I'm asking, this is for the BPX race. I'm asking this question because one of the platform points for a candidate says communicating budget cuts, which I find to be rather concerning because it reflects an attitude of complacency that does nothing to prevent budget cuts and just merely communicate it. So I'm asking to 3 of you guys, what are you going to do in your position as VPX, if elected, to prevent future budget cuts?
I like this question.
Great, thanks for the question. I'll answer that in 2 parts. So the first thing is we need to have conversations with MLAs and MPs outside of the Strathcona riding. Because when parents get involved, when we start talking about post-secondary, and it's all over our TV screens, when it's in the media, this affects everybody in the public. And in the future, the government will they'll be sure to not cut funding for post-secondary because they know it affects more than students in one riding. So it's really important that we keep pushing hard with our media. I know the SU this year did a really, really good job of getting up in the media's face and having their ideas heard. The second thing for me is we might not necessarily be able to prevent cuts, but we can help students deal with the cuts. And that means regulating, for example, future increases. That means regulating MNIFs. That means regulating international fees so that we have predictability at the very least. So 2 things. One is make sure we talk to media a lot and get the word out for everybody else. And the second is help students deal with any budget cuts that do happen. Thanks.
Cool, thanks for the question. So once again, this is coming back to the idea of how are we going to get things done. Yes, we all know about budget cuts, and actually everybody already knows about budget cuts. A lot of people outside of just the Strathcona riding know that the university took a 7% cut. What I'm proposing is that we, as Natalie was saying, was talk to public media. Talk to public media and get them talking. Get students together in thousands of numbers if we have to by working with VPSL to get students actually involved and in the face of the public. People that aren't students need to know about this because those are the people who are voting. Those are the people that are going to affect policy change in the future. So my proposal is to actually do a lot of indirect pressure on government because things like direct pressure and sitting down with the government MLAs and ministers just has been shown to not be working. We've been doing that over and over again and it just doesn't work. So really we do have to take matters into our own hands and reach out to everybody to try and help us be a better school. Thank you.
All right, so thank you for the question, and I think it's really good because I kind of find that lacking in some of the platforms of other people running for Vice President External about talking about budget cuts. And that's why I put it in my platform. Because when you look at the discourse that the government of Alberta is giving out, especially in press releases, the line is, this budget won't be balanced on the backs of students. Now, what this tells me is that the government thinks students only care about how much they pay, which is very, very untrue. I want to go to the government and say, yeah, we do care about how much we pay for school. That's really important to us. We demand an accessible and affordable education. But at the same time, we come to one of the best universities in Canada to get one of the best quality educations in Canada. And when you cut budgets, that affects quality. By linking those two together in the minds of the government as well as the public, I think all of a sudden it changes the way that they look at budgets and say it's not only about students' prices, it's also about the quality of education we receive. But thank you for the question.
Another question from the audience.
So this is for the VP Academics. I'm just wondering what measures you're going to take to ensure that the faculty associations remain autonomous so that every student from every different faculty will still be properly represented on campus.
VP Academic, you guys are ready to go.
So the current model that we have right now is that the SU often tells faculty associations what to do. I don't like that model. I don't think it's sustainable. I think the best way to administer faculty associations, to give them autonomy, is to encourage deans to have these metrics revealed to faculty associations. They have the closest relationship to their deans. These are their main funders. These are their main stakeholders. That's who they should be communicating with. Any problems the SU has with them should either be in conversation with the VP Academic or through the deans themselves, because those are the ones who are giving them the most support. We have no right to stand as the SU and tell faculty associations everything they should be doing. We shouldn't be giving faculty associations a lower status just because they don't have their finances in order. We should be giving them resources to use to make themselves better for the students that they represent.
Thank you for the question. As someone who has been part of a faculty association as VP Academic, I personally feel that we have had a lot of freedom to do what we want. I've been able to meet with our dean, with our committees, and advocate for exactly what my students want to see. However, I think that like other candidates have said, it doesn't need to be top-down support from the SU. We don't need to tell faculty associations what to do. Part of my platform is to ensure that they have the resources they need to properly advocate and provide services for their school. Or for their faculty. This includes revamping Discover Governance so that they have a tool that is not the VP Academic, that is strong, that will give them all the support they need. And this includes ensuring that COFA is a place where collaboration can occur rather than top-down information sharing. Thank you.
I very much agree with Stephanie on many of those points. I mostly agree with her on the point of COFA. COFA should definitely be a collaborative mechanism rather than an information dissemination mechanism. What you may or may not know is that a bylaw change that happened last year that actually made COFA advisory to the Students' Union. It used to be just advisory to the VP Academic, who would then be responsible for bringing proposals to council. But actually now, COFA is advisory to the Students' Council as a whole. So if elected VP Academic, I would definitely make sure that Council of Faculty Associations and the working groups are knowledgeable of their power over Students' Council and making sure that it's utilized to the best of its ability. Yes, thank you.
So I don't really have the experience that the other candidates do as far as faculty associations and their autonomy, but I think that the most important thing would be to talk to them and see what changes they want implemented and work with them to change them. Thank you.
Great question. Thank you for that. What I'd really like to see with COFA, and I'm sorry if it did seem like we were overbearing or if the SU seemed too overbearing, but I found that at a lot of times at COFA meetings, attending there as the ICE VP academic, we saw a lot of information be passed on from the SU VP academic. We didn't necessarily see a chance for faculty associations to bring their own student discussion items. And so that's something that I would really encourage at COFA, for other student groups and other faculty associations to bring their own discussion points so that they can talk about issues that are relevant to their faculties, not necessarily what's relevant to the Students' Union.
30 seconds.
That's how I'd make sure that we support faculty associations instead of telling them what to do. Thank you for the question.
We are going to take the last 2 questions before wrapping this forum.
So textbook prices really piss me off. This for the VP academic. What are you going to do to help lower prices?
Thank you for the question. Textbooks have been an issue. It's something that most VPAs in the past 5 years have been dealing with. But I don't think textbooks are the only issue. When you go into the bookstore, you're also getting your online software, your manuals, your workbooks, and these are also things that the VPA needs to focus on dealing with. There are 3 things that I would like to do that will solve the core issue of textbooks being too much. First, I would like to undo the bundle and bring down the cost of the online software so that if you want to buy used or use a library reserve, you can. I also want to work with professors to ensure that when they're listing something as required, it actually is required for more than maybe 2 pages or a chapter. The last thing I want to do is work with the VP External to start putting pressure with the government through the use of cause. There's been precedents in the states, and I want to see bottom-up pressure from the students and top-down pressure from the government. Thank you so much for the question.
Thank you so much for the question. In handling the textbook issue, I'd actually like to take sort of a 2-pronged approach, a long-term and a short-term version. So there's the long-term version where you negotiate with the university, negotiate with the bookstore, negotiate with publishers, and this has been going on for years and years and years and years. And progress is made, but progress is made slowly. You wouldn't see the results and the fruits of that process like this year. So in the short-term approach, in the meantime, what I'd like to do is actually create a textbook library, which would basically be a reserve of textbooks of many different disciplines that would be free for students to borrow. I'd also like to look into ramping up the reserves that already exist in the libraries. In addition, I would like to revamp the online textbook exchange, which is actually a very useful mechanism for directly buying and selling textbooks to other students. Thank you very much.
So due to copyright issues, it's actually incredibly difficult to put books on hold in a library to create a lending library. The successful model that the Business Association has been using has been twofold. The first is to create course packs that student groups can then sell to other individuals in that major at a very low cost. And the second is working directly with professors. Our professors in the business faculty make textbook listings for 3 or 4 editions back and note all the changes within the editions so you can purchase an old textbook and know exactly where the differences are. This is an incredibly successful model. As well, we also have professors who go around telling you 10 different options for what you can buy. They're the ones setting the agenda. They're the ones setting the curriculum. They're the ones we need to talk to. And as a competitive debater, I'm pretty sure I can do it.
So thanks for the question. I agree, textbook prices suck as someone who's taking a full course load. One of the big things that already a lot of professors have started to implement is online resources and actually emailing out your texts as PDF. I really like that. Another thing that actually a lot of publishers now have started to offer are online textbooks where you can rent it from the actual publisher for your semester and use it, and it's at least half the price. I've done it before. It's sort of hard to expect a big publisher who's already making so much money off of so many students to take down their prices. So I think what professors have started to do with online readings and with renting textbooks online and with what the university has done this year with promoting other ways of getting textbooks have been effective, and I really would like to continue that. Thank you.
Great question again. Thank you for that. The SU has a wonderful campaign that they launched this September that I worked with as a member of the academic relations group called the Be Book Smart campaign that encourages students to get their textbooks from other means such away from the bookstore, such as used book sales, Amazon, Kijiji, whatever works. Actually, my friend has this little joke that if you're selling a textbook for mint condition, it probably means I never used it and you won't either. So I'd like to see instructors be a bit more honest and transparent when a textbook is required versus recommended. In addition to that, a lot of times we have to pay $80 for online course codes, but I think that eClass can be a really effective substitute to get those online quiz formats without all the associated costs, because we don't have to pay for eClass. And finally, I'd like to see instructors offer more customized course packs that take out all the miscellaneous information that you don't need from a textbook, but just offers you with what you need, so that your quality of education doesn't suffer, but affordability, it's easier, it's more affordable. Thank you.
We're going to take now the last question before closing this forum.
Hi there. This is a question for the representative of the RAF. My name is David. I'm a student at Campus Saint-Jean. And in your speech, you said something about how the money that we're going to be paying is $16 a semester, each student. And it's going to be our money that we're giving to you guys that's going to be coming back to us. And you said that it would be used for recreational facilities and athletic services. So my question is, you also said that they would be used for us on this campus, on our campus. So my question is me as a student from Faculty Saint-Jean and other students from Campus Saint-Jean and even Augustana at that point will be paying these fees, but they will not be seeing the fees come back to us at our campuses. It will be at your guys' campus here. So how do you plan on taking the money that's being taken from us, from Campus Saint-Jean and Augustana, and implementing a system that's beneficial for all of us, not just main campus or North Campus, but all the campuses?
All right, actually that's a really, really good question. I'm not receiving many questions here, which is kind of a downfall, actually, because then I don't have enough time to advocate really exactly what the ARF is going to do. For the faculty, Campus St. John and Augustana, actually the money will be going back to you. So those students that are at those campuses, that money will be going right back to you. And I know you guys already have some benefits, as in free games already for your campuses. That money will go right back into your facilities, right back into your own programs. So the students at main campus, the money will go back to main campus. Students at Augustana, to Augustana. As faculty St. John, St. John. So hopefully that answers your question.
Thank you for this answer. And yeah, last question, I hope.
Hey everyone, I have a question for all the VPSL candidates. So it's really cool seeing many candidates support Pride Week on campus. Many candidates wore pink last Wednesday and very vocal about LGBTQ issues this week. However, Pride Week is just 1 week of the year. LGBTQ issues, concerns, and voices exist beyond that. So I want to ask all the VPSL candidates what they specifically have done to support the LGBTQ community beyond Pride Week.
Great, and last question.
So given that this year is really my first year that I've really been involved in main campus, there's not a lot that I was able to do here because I'm not really here. However, at Campus Saint-Jean, more recently actually, with the intercultural soiree that we had, we actually broke some barriers there, and we put on a dance performance that kind of broke down the traditional marriage kind of idea that we have. And we had people dancing, we had men dancing with men, we had women dancing with women, we had traditional couples, and then halfway through the dance, we switched that out, and people were we had men wearing dresses, we had women wearing, suits and whatnot, just kind of give the audience an idea of how far we've come from, the 1950s, where you see a white man and a white woman together. Now we have so many different cultures mixing, we have so many different genders and sexualities that we are beginning to celebrate. So I'm really happy to be a part of that.
Thank you, Patrick. Kahina? Can you come to this mic, please?
Hello? Okay, I screwed up, sorry. Okay, so excellent question. Again, my point comes back to my community life in Lister. For the past 3 years, Lister has been my community, and we have our own events when it comes to Pride Week, which we plan and we execute for not just Lister, those are open to anyone who wants to walk in. Apart from that, I am really proud to have my floor and my tower be one of the most inclusive communities on campus. Doesn't matter if it's regarding sexual orientation or race or your background. All the stories that you might have heard about Lister are false. It is incredibly, incredibly inclusive, and I am damn proud to be from there. Thank you.
Next is Nicolas Jazz.
That student group, we found that there was a huge services gap on this campus for LGBTQ students. There's outreach, it's a student group. We're untrained, we don't give counseling, we can't provide that service. The only other service is the Institute for Sexual Minority Studies and Services. They're in education, they're on the fifth floor. We have huge problems with visibility, services provision, and referral services. So, this year, 8 months ago, we started researching why is this a problem and what can we do to address it. Halfway through those 8 months of research, we were hired by the Students' Union, actually right there in the leather jacket, we were hired by the Students' Union to continue that research, and we issued our 10-page research report to them. Now, in September, the Students' Union has allocated $10,000 to $15,000 in their upcoming budget for a pilot program for the last 2 years to hope to address these issues. So the next step is to go out to our grantors, to the community organizations that give funding to projects that support our students. So we
Thank you, Nicolas Jazz.
Thank you for the question. And to answer the question what you have done for Pride Week, actually yesterday, as a being a Hub RA, we have organized baking rainbow cupcakes. All of the residents showed up, and more than half of the residents did not know what Pride Week meant. So as a RA, we explained what Pride Week meant, and I thought it was a really engaging event. Also, this week, starting from today, we are having another event, and we'll be tabling 3 to 5 in front of mailbox in Hub. You guys can go there and get to know about Pride Week and what other events are going on campus. Also, if you're wearing the rainbow t-shirt, we'll be giving out juice box and other candies, so please come and show your support. Thank you.
Next is Fabian Gonzalez.
What can I say? I like walking. Thank you very much for this question. Last year, I had the fortune and the honor of one of my friends opening up to me. He was thinking about hurting himself. He cried on my shoulder, and because he was different, because he had a different sexual orientation, and he didn't know how to come out to his parents, very religious people from Camrose, and tell them, Mom, I'm gay. And it was a heartwarming experience. I am lucky, I'm fortunate that 3 of my best friends are gay, and the main thing that I see is that
15 seconds.
This is not a gay community problem. This is a problem for everyone. Everyone is a little bit different. We're all a little bit not mainstream. The way in which I support this, I support everyone being the same. I support everyone being integrated, everyone knowing each other, not as sexual orientations, genders, colors, ethnicities, nationalities.
That was Fabian
but
Gonzalez. Thank you for this nice answer. We have now come to the end of this forum. If you guys still have questions, I guess you can ask them on their platform or website. Don't forget to vote on March 5th and 6th. It's just one click, or just go vote on the ballots on the sub. It's really important that you make the right choice. Don't forget to vote on March 5th and 6th. Thank you all for coming.